contrast these two scenarios. It was cheaper for me to bring 14 people to Bali for our work conference for 5 days. Flights, food, accommodation, tours, bits and pieces. Cheaper, half the price to come to Bali for 5 days than it was to do the same thing in Cairns. And my business is based in Brisbane, so that's why I'm doing the comparison for Cairns versus Bali. That's with a comparable hotel standard. And with the hollowing out of our industry and manufacturing in Australia, I've seen so many left-wing economists talking about how Australia's future will be built on tourism and more mining, as well as migration. If I can see that, because I went to Cairns for a week for work last month, and I was dodging homeless people left, right and centre. Everything was expensive. Everything. Now, the standard was great. The quality's awesome. It's safe. But is it any better than here? Any economist telling you that tourism is the future of Australia's economy is talking out their arse. Because even when Bali gets too expensive to be able to come to affordably for most people, they're just going to go to Cambodia. Or they're just going to go to somewhere else in Southeast Asia that's got great beaches and good accessibility. As soon as they have direct flights out of Brisbane to those places, fuck it, I'll be taking my people there as well. Don't get me wrong, I am 100% Australian, mate. You know that I am a true blue patriot to the core, but I can't afford it. I can't afford to take my team to Cairns for a week as opposed to bringing them to Bali, where I can afford to take them for half the price. So I'm not saying we need to lower wages or make Australia like Bali. That is not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is that there are some intrinsic structural issues that means that Australia will never ever be able to compete with places like this. And if you've got to take your team away for a week, I'd strongly suggest you look elsewhere, because you can't do it in Australia. There's no fucking way you can do it in Australia. It'll cost you an absolute fortune, and it's just not feasible. I am recruiting for our building company in Australia right now. And although I'm in Bali today with the rest of our team, I'll be back next week and I would love to have a conversation with you. High integrity, be super honest, must do great building work. We want to bring you in as part of our network. Reach out to us. We'd love to work with you and help you. Australia's got a massive skills crisis. Let's take a look at this.
Are we as a nation becoming afraid of hard work?
So first of all, let's frame it as Australians are scared.
Plenty of bosses in this country fear the answer is yes. Restaurants are reducing their hours. Small businesses closing their doors. They can't find tradies for love nor money.
But we had a Jobs and Skills Summit in 2022 where your Albanese government brought in millions of people to supplement the fact that Australia was short of workers. This was meant to solve the skills crisis we have.
Clayton's struggling to find staff, and he could be forced to shut up shop.
So why exactly did we import 2 million migrants over the last couple of years? What was the reason for that?
Very difficult. We've been advertising for quite a long time, and unfortunately it seems to be that trades aren't that attractive anymore.
The only way your government can justify importing people at the rate that they are is by telling you that there's a massive shortage of trades and skills in our country. And at the Productivity Roundtable in August, they'll continue to tell you that small business requires more migration, that we need more people coming in. But that's not going to help all the homeless people currently living under bridges in record numbers in capital cities around Australia.
As of December 2024, there were almost 312,000 active apprentice and trainee contracts nationally, with over 2/3 in trade occupations. The total number of apprenticeships decreased by 8% compared with the year before.
Just 2 years ago, there was over 400,000 apprentices. Australia lost nearly 100,000 in the last 24 months.
Last year, commencements of trade occupations decreased by 13.9%. Some of the industries being hardest hit: automotive and engineering trade workers down 17.1% and construction trade workers down 16%.
Those are the stats they're telling you for last year, but if you extrapolate that back to 2020, you'll see that we are down by something like 30 to 40% overall in those occupations, in those apprenticeships. A generation of kids that don't want to do trades, a government that's hell-bent on driving us to net zero, crazy politicians that just have nothing but ideology in their brain and have no concept of what the rest of the world is really like, and a country with a decimated trade workforce, plummeting birth rates, and no option but to import the third world so that we can prop up property prices in Australia. That's what we are, that's what we've become, and that's what we'll continue to be for the next 6 years. If your business requires highly specialised trade skills, I would strongly suggest that you pivot as quickly as you can and get used to working with low IQ, low skilled people, because that's all you're going to be able to find going forward. There is no incentive to be a tradesman in this country, in Australia anymore. Even though the future is bright for trades, you are never going to convince kids to do that when they can go to university, rack up a HECS debt and have the government just wipe that shit off as they go anyway. Australia has seen thousands of building companies collapse over the last 4 years. It's been an absolute decimation. We've seen thousands of small businesses slide into liquidation as well. Record numbers. And now we're starting to see this. Australian region facing 17,000 job losses as copper pressures hit. This incredible Aussie story of ours, the lucky country, is coming to an end, and it's coming in quickly now. When people go bankrupt, it happens really slowly, and then it happens really fast, and that's exactly what's happening in Australia right now. What a fucking schmozzle this shit is. I mean, you'd have to be pretty fucking useless to bankrupt a country like Australia. And that's the thing. They thought they were so fucking clever. Both sides of politics. Got back from my work conference in Bali yesterday on a Jetstar flight direct from Denpasar to Brisbane. And as we landed in Brisbane, I was given a welcome to country over the fucking radio by a Balinese fucking air hostess. Get your head around that, Australia. That's where you're at. Your country's collapsing, your jobs are disappearing, your future's going down the fucking gurgler by dancing fucking TikTok idiots. And you're welcome to country by a Balinese person. That's Australia.